turn this into something positive and maybe it'll spread.
He's the most positive person on his job.
Now you're cured.
I feel good.
And good morning. Happy 4th of July weekend, everyone. And a shout out to all our servicemen and women and their families. You're going to hear from a local master sergeant in just a moment. And he's going to tell you why you might think differently the next time you tell a soldier in uniform, thank you for your service. But first, a man who was starving spiritually. Today he runs a food ministry that serves thousands. But it took a 39-year addiction, time behind bars, and the erosion of 2 marriages before he was reborn. 71-year-old Chris Capper admits it's a miracle he's alive.
I started drinking my senior year in high school. I would say I was probably addicted to cocaine the first time I did it. And I used to sell lots of cocaine in the city.
As Capper describes his life, I'm wondering how he's not dead.
I would smoke marijuana from the time I got up till the time I went to bed whenever I could. I used to do lots and lots of drugs. Cocaine was my drug of choice. Lots of alcohol, lots of marijuana. I would drink pretty close to a quart of tequila a day.
How could you be addicted for 39 years and then turn your life around? How did you do that?
I didn't. I was in the house of correction the second time because I didn't learn the first time. So God put me back in there and said, okay, enough of you. And literally, Carole, as I sit here and talk to you, I'm pretty much a miracle.
But the vicious cycle took a toll. It cost him 2 marriages and left him estranged from his 4 kids.
I'm sorry that I hurt people along the way. I have 4 children, 2 marriages, both ended because of drugs and alcohol. My youngest, which is a son, still doesn't talk to me. My 3 oldest children have come back. But the 2 oldest I didn't see or communicate with for about 30 years.
After that second time behind bars, his cravings ceased.
It's now gone in the other direction, which thank God again that, okay, now you did all these bad for all these years. Maybe we should try doing some good.
Capper was hungry for a purpose, so he founded Just One More Ministry, a food distributor for the poor. He began with only 20 loaves of bread, and now...
Last year, God blessed us with a little over 1.5 million pounds. And even with the COVID situation this year, our goal is 2 million pounds. So we hopefully will get close to that.
Quite a feat for a man once empty and lost.
I was a pretty naughty person, and I'm pretty blessed because my health, as far as I know, is very good.
And that's why Chris gives others second chances. He's not afraid to hire employees with a record. I asked Capper what led him to the path of destruction. He says he grew up with great parents, but his life was dealt a painful blow at an early age.
I was brought up in Whitefish Bay. The only traumatic thing I had is my father passed when I was 12. And so I stopped going to church because how can there be a God that would take my father from me at that age?
What would you say to your father today if he could see you and if you were able to talk to him?
Now you're going to get me emotional. First of all, I love you, and thank you for being the role model that you were, going to work every day when you were sick, playing catch with me, teaching me how to bat, teaching me how to shoot a basketball. And I think the best thing is teaching me to be kind.
But Chris Capper says his father's early death is no excuse for his past behavior. Today, Capper is making amends with the adult children he abandoned. His daughters have accepted him and support his ministry.
And what beautiful spirits they are to come and see me at the ministry for the first time and volunteer and now want to spend time with me, although I hurt him to the core. I'm proud that I can be there for him now because I wasn't for 39 years, but I'm really, really proud of their forgiveness and their understanding and accepting me back into their lives and their kids' lives.
But his youngest son refuses to open his letters. Chris understands his son's pain and wants him to know it was not his fault.
When you're addicted to something, especially drugs and alcohol, that becomes your God. You get up in the morning and say, okay, now how am I going to get high today? When am I going to get high? Do I have enough drugs to get high? Do I need to get alcohol? What do I need to do to get high? So that's your God. You actually worship your addiction.
Today, Chris Capper only worships God. He's found his purpose, not only to feed the needy, but to lift their lives through outreach. Last year, Just One More Ministry provided food to 780,000 people. This year, they're on track to serving more than 1 million.
We get to give all this good food away to hungry people. We get to do this. It's an amazing thing that we get to do here.
And through feeding the needy, Chris Capper is able to nourish his own soul and replenish his heart.
God just took the I out of me and put him in. I'm blessed, Carole. I'm blessed.
And we're blessed for you, Chris. Now, next week, you're going to meet 2 employees from Just One More Ministry. They got a second chance, all because of Chris Capper. Now, as we mentioned, it's the 4th of July holiday weekend, and we need to remember our military members who often have to spend months away from loved ones. We meet a Pewaukee family who's had to deal with those emotions.
Good catch, eh? There you go.
John Lovelady is a Master Sergeant with the 128th Air Refueling Wing.
I've enjoyed every bit of it.
For almost 23 years, he's traveled the world seeing places many people will only dream about.
Germany, that was one of my favorites.
To France, Spain, Korea, Saudi Arabia, the UAE, the far reaches of the earth, for some good deployments and some not so good. His last was in 2018 when he was gone for 7 months.
Obviously, my wife is kind of generally more devastated than all of them initially. It is very hard. The military, though, has done a very fantastic job of prepping us for these occasions.
John's wife, Megan, and their 4 boys are also prepped for what life might be like while John is gone.
It's definitely hard caring for 4 boys when your spouse is gone. I had to lean on family.
They leaned on their family and their military family, who became like relatives.
We had Monday Fun Day, and so they would come over for dinners.
But along with the laughs came sad times when the boys would miss their father.
The boys had some rough moments. We definitely had some anger moments. We had some sad moments. We had some happy moments. You just took it day by day.
Megan made pillows with pictures of the boys with their dad. They could snuggle in it when they missed him. But also helping through the range of emotions was the USO office.
Monthly spouse communication meeting that they had put on, which was awesome. And they would have monthly topics, which also helped out. They had different speakers and stuff, which was really wonderful.
When it was time to come home, there was reintegration training.
They involve every aspect of the family and prepare the members before they leave, and they prepare the members when they come home, as well as the families.
Along with the reintegration came excitement about Dad coming home. Megan and her boys made signs to give John a hero's welcome. John shares, when he's in a military uniform, he appreciates the thank yous, but he also believes there are other hometown heroes we all need to remember.
I always caveat onto that is, if I'm with my wife or my family, is to say thank them. They're the reason why I can do this. They're my rock.
Yeah, that's a very good point. Thanks to the entire Lovelady family for all of your service. And also thank you to the USO for your help with this story. We really appreciate it. The coronavirus put a halt to all live theater, but performers from Kids from Wisconsin found a way to entertain. Our digital reporter James Groh has more from this popular touring company.
To be or not to be, that is the question. Please, sir, could I have some more? We're off to see the wizard, the wonderful Wizard of Oz. I'm a theater guy at heart, but doing this in front of a camera, no audience, it's just not the same. But unfortunately, because of the coronavirus, it's all we got.
I filmed on my iPad.
So I just used my phone.
So they had to do literally 185 videos to put that all together.
So sit back and let us be.
Instead of doing 60 performances across the state of live and living color, these actors from the elite touring company Kids from Wisconsin decided to put on a digital performance of their opening act, kind of like a teaser to next summer. This would have been Kids from Wisconsin's 51st season had it not been for the coronavirus. Instead of bagging the summer altogether, they came up with this, and it sounds amazing. Over Zoom meetings, they practiced singing, dancing, and playing instruments. The actors said, though, they miss not performing and have that live theater experience.
Stuck at home, like working at Subway, which, I mean, Subway's great and all, but it's not the same as going on the road performing with a bunch of people who care about music as much as you do.
The full video will be published on the Kids from Wisconsin Facebook page and website in the next few days.
Thank you, James. A lot of talent there. We're going to share that side on our Positively Milwaukee Facebook page. Still ahead on Positively Milwaukee, reasons to smile. A fun way one restaurant is serving customers during the pandemic. And a flower giveaway that was supposed to last 2 days. It was such a hit, it didn't even last 2 hours. Welcome back. Imagine opening a new restaurant, your pride and joy, then COVID-19 shuts everything down. Well, that happened. But despite that, a restaurant in Wauwatosa not only survived, it thrived. Here's Delaney Bry.
The Lowlands Group newest addition, Aban, was slated to have a grand opening in early 2020. But COVID-19 closed the doors right as they had just cracked open.
We had to close down and go to just carry-out business.
Which thankfully for General Manager Tyler Nation wasn't as terrible as it sounds.
The carryout business was fantastic because we had a ton of support from the community. We were the first Lowlands restaurant to open, and the support that we received was phenomenal.
Looking to still give customers an experience, Aban went all out.
We gave you the wedge salad with the trio of dressings. We gave you the relish tray, so it's almost like you could take it home and spread it out on your table and have that supper club experience at home. And we saw a ton of posts on social media, which was fantastic to see, and is exactly what we were going for.
Now open for dining. Tyler says his staff is willing to do whatever it takes to keep Aban open and guests safe.
I probably got 20 phone calls a day when we were reopening. Like, when can I come back to work? What can I do to help? And people were willing to do everything. And that's what makes our team so amazing and so inspirational.
Around for not even a full month before the pandemic changed everything. Tyler says it was all worth it to be on this corner in Wauwatosa.
We really love being part of the Tosa Village and being able to provide a great dining experience for the community. And when we felt that back from the community, when we pivoted to carryout service, was just amazing. So we can't thank the Tosa community enough.
And the restaurant is open 7 days a week. We're going to put a link to it on our Positively Milwaukee Facebook page. Congratulations. Hamburger Marys in Walker's Point is giving us entertainment and a reason to smile.
I'm going to do a little number when I get there so they can enjoy their burgers, and also they get to see me. Got you some burgers. Are you ready for a little number?
Okay, how can you not love this? Order a meal from Hamburger Marys and a drag queen will deliver it to you. It's their Divas A Go-Go drag burger delivery service. If this idea is a hit, they do plan to keep this unique service going for some time. Nice outfit. Well, the ground is officially broken on Kathy's House near Freighted and the Medical College of Wisconsin. Kathy's House is a place to stay for patients and families who come to Milwaukee for medical care. It will have 36 rooms, double the capacity of the current place. It's expected to open next year. Baseball is back. The Milwaukee Brewers reported to spring training this past week. They're getting warmed up for a 60-game schedule. Teams will play most games against their division opponents so they don't have to travel very far. Games should start in just a few weeks. Well, this will make baseball fans smile. Picking up new gear at the Brewers team store. You know the crew has a new look. You're going to find plenty of hats and shirts and other items to show your team pride and be up to date. Also opening is the restaurant to be named later. That's the name. That opens this Friday. With Summerfest canceled, there was a surplus of flowers and shrubs normally planted at Henry Meyer Festival Park. So Summerfest officials gave them away at Alice's Garden on 21st Street. And as Adriana Mendez tells us, a lot of gardeners are thrilled.
I go out through it and say, thank you, God, you let me rise again to the garden.
It's a beautiful sight for Miss Dolores Butler.
Beautiful plants. This is grandmother's flower garden.
Vibrant flowers, so pretty, she wants to plant them all.
I've never seen such healthy plants before.
She has been a gardener all her life.
I can't get out, but I can at least go in my backyard and plant, and I enjoy that.
So when she heard thousands of flowers were being handed out to the community for free, she woke up bright and early and said a quick prayer.
Thank you, God, I am ready for the yard.
These mix of flowers would have gone on the Summerfest grounds, but because the music event is canceled this year, Milwaukee County Parks and Milwaukee World Festival decided to donate them, and now they are being passed out at Alice's Garden.
They're just absolutely beautiful.
The flower donation is worth about $10,000, but the reward of brightening up the community is priceless.
So we're sad that we will not have festivals this summer, but in the midst of a pandemic, there is still opportunity. The opportunity to brighten up your neighborhood, opportunity to take maybe a few flowers home to a neighbor who can't be here. So it's all about giving.
And that makes us happy. Thank you, Adriana. The giveaway was so popular, all of the flowers are gone in under 2 hours. Up next, we're going to take you on a tour of some of the most beautiful new murals that have been created here in Milwaukee. Welcome back. Seeing hope through evil. It's the message of Milwaukee's own Ruben Harpole. Harpole has dedicated his life to God and education. Here's Shannon Sims.
So when we got married, she told me that this is where she wanted to live.
From his high-rise apartment overlooking Lake Michigan, Ruben Harpole resides. Some have dubbed him the unofficial mayor of Milwaukee. A native of Cream City, Harpole has seen the city divided.
One day, my wife and I was going to St. Elizabeth Catholic Church on 2nd and Burleigh, and the pastor wouldn't serve her communion because she was black.
Discrimination and racism all around in the 50s and 60s.
While I was at the post office, I found out that the police department were terrible for black men. In fact, they'd say, don't ever get arrested, because you get arrested and you go in the elevator, they put a towel around the hand and then beat the heck out of you.
However, Harpole is quick to tell you he was unbothered by it. He made it his mission to change the hearts and minds through engagement.
And we had something called a circle where we'd invite people to come around. We said, the project was called Hello Neighbor. So we get the people to come so they get a chance to know black folks, you know, that we weren't stupid.
Educating the youth has always been a big passion for Ruben. His work in the community led to the founding of more than 25 community centers and programs in the city.
There's a quote that Dr. George Washington Carver used to recite to all of his students. You have everything that the greatest people before you have had. What do you have? You have 2 eyes, 2 ears, 2 arms, 2 legs, and a brain to use if you'd be wise. So start from the beginning and say, I can.
The recent death of George Floyd at the hands of a Minneapolis police officer shook Ruben.
Murder, 1st degree.
The nationwide outcry has amazed this 86-year-old.
But what was good is that a lot of people saw that, and it changed a lot of people's minds and hearts, and especially the people that believed in God and rightness.
Even in the midst of America in turmoil, Ruben Harpole sees hope.
Barack Obama said maybe the healing can begin. It didn't begin when Dr. King was marching, but now, with this, what happened to George Floyd, maybe the healing can begin. You saw a mixture of black, white, Native Americans, all kinds of folks. Their heart could see, they could see the evil.
And Harpole has established the Ruben K. Harpole Junior Education Scholarship at UWM. It's invested $19,000 in the college education of young African-American men who want to teach. So thank you, Ruben, for your contribution to our community. With paint and brush, local Milwaukee artists are voicing their opinions about racial injustice with new murals across the city. Digital reporter James Groh takes us on a tour.
There have been a whole lot of new murals going up in Milwaukee, so let's do a quick rundown to keep you up to speed with all the new paintings in the city, starting with one of the newest of Milwaukee activists.
It tells the community that we're trying to do something with ourselves and for ourselves.
Kind of empowering.
The flurry of murals has been mainly inspired by the ongoing peaceful Black Lives Matter protests and frontline workers battling the coronavirus, like this painting.
Something that you don't have to pay to get into a gallery or into a museum. Public art is free, it's accessible, something that we all can enjoy.
Who says all murals have to be permanent anyways? This is a mural of MLK on MLK Drive, painted on a boarded up window. On multiple boarded up windows across the city, artists have been leaving inspiring messages. Some of the more recognizable murals have been the painting of George Floyd at Holton and North and Breonna Taylor at Holton and Locust. Check this out. Around the corner from the Breonna Taylor mural, a whole alleyway full of paintings. Let's check it out. New murals have gone up in at least 6 places over the past few weeks, and at this rate, it wouldn't be surprising if more went up too.
Thank you, James. Artwork making a powerful statement. I'm going to be back with my quote of the week. Don't go away. Each week, I like to leave you with a message of hope and inspiration. Today's quote comes from former Congressman Adam Clayton Powell. He said, "There's no future for people who deny their past." Have a good week, everybody, and stay positively Milwaukee.